Do you hear that? That is the sound of your empire bleeding in the dark. For the past week, you have been building. You have been pouring the heavy concrete of your business network. You have been structuring your franchise models, auditing your B2B contracts, and raising the walls of your dominion. You built the submarine, and you took it into the deep water. But a submarine is only as powerful as its hermetic seal. Look at the calendar. Today is July 5th. The matrix has shifted its frequency, and the external pressure on your hull has just reached maximum density. The moon has entered Pisces. In this transmission, we are going to dissect the esoteric physics of this astrological event. We are going to expose the invisible, toxic leaks in your psychology that are currently threatening to flood your entire operation. And I am going to teach you the exact sovereign protocol to freeze those leaks into solid black ice. Stop what you are doing. Check your vitals. Check the perimeter. We are sealing the submarine. To master the environment, you must first understand the physics of the water you are swimming in. Every 28 days, the moon completes its cycle and plunges into the final sign of the zodiac, Pisces. This transit lasts for approximately 2.5 days. Because it happens monthly, the unawakened masses do not respect its danger. They view it as a simple shift in mood. They are fools. Pisces is the sign of the universal ocean. It is the archetype of dissolution. When the moon, the celestial body that governs human emotion, instinct, and subconscious reaction, enters Pisces, the structural boundaries of reality begin to dissolve. Logic fades. Sharp lines blur. The heavy architectural discipline you rely on to run your business is suddenly submerged in a thick, heavy fog of empathy, nostalgia, and emotional vulnerability. But today, July 5th, this transit is exceptionally dangerous. We are standing in the immediate aftermath of the Sirius Gateway opening. The matrix is already unstable, downloading massive amounts of new code. And tomorrow, we face the new moon in Cancer, the ultimate 0 point of the month. Therefore, this specific moon in Pisces is the final, brutal pressure test of your hull before the true reset. The universe is using the water of Pisces to hunt for the microcracks in your foundation. It is searching for the places where you are soft. It is searching for the places where you allow human emotion to override mathematical business logic. If your psychological seal is not absolutely hermetic today, the water will find the crack. And it will not just leak. The immense hydrostatic pressure of the matrix will blast through the vulnerability and flood your entire network. What does a structural leak look like in the physical world? It does not look like a sudden bankruptcy. It does not look like a massive market crash. The matrix is much more subtle than that. A structural leak looks like empathy, specifically, toxic empathy. Pisces energy weaponizes your compassion against your own empire. It makes you feel the emotional weight of everyone in your network, and it tricks you into believing that it is your responsibility to save them. Let us audit your internal architecture right now. Look closely at your operations. The first micro crack, the inefficient human code. You have a manager, a franchisee, or a B2B partner who is consistently underperforming. Their metrics are failing. They are dragging down the amortization of your equipment. They are bleeding your capital. By every law of business mathematics, you should have terminated their contract a month ago. But the Pisces water seeps into your mind. You start thinking about their family. You start thinking about how hard they are trying. You feel pity. Pity is a crack in the concrete. When you retain an inefficient operator out of pity, you are not being a good person. You are sabotaging the structural integrity of your entire network to comfort a parasite. The second micro-crack, the fear of the void, rejection. You are preparing a massive international expansion strategy. You are supposed to send out aggressive, high-ticket proposals today, but the boundary-dissolving water of Pisces makes you hypersensitive to the energy of the market. You suddenly feel the terrifying possibility of rejection. You feel the potential awkwardness of a client saying no. So you soften your B2B pitch. You offer an unprompted discount. You hesitate. That hesitation is freezing water pouring into your engine room. The third micro-crack, the savior's complex. You are answering messages at midnight. You are fixing problems for your partners that they should be fixing themselves. You are absorbing the emotional panic of your team because you have forgotten where your sovereign border ends and their incompetence begins. Every time you compromise your system to accommodate someone else's fragility, a rivet pops on the hull. The water is rising. And if you do not seal these cracks today, your empire will drown in the tears of the weak. Look at the archetype of the moon on your screen. In the unawakened world, the moon card represents illusion, fear, and getting lost in the dark waters of the subconscious. The weak are terrified of the dark water. They let the tide carry them wherever it wants. The sovereign architect approaches the water differently. When the water rises, she does not panic. She does not frantically try to scoop the water out with her hands. She does not cry. She understands that the only way to stop a flood is to change the state of the matter. You cannot fight water with water. You cannot fight emotion with emotion. If an employee comes to you crying about their failures, and you respond with emotional frustration, you are just adding more water to the flooded room. You must introduce the element that water cannot defeat. You must introduce the absolute zero of algorithmic logic. Look at the woman. She does not fight the current. She kneels down, and she applies her internal gravity directly to the vulnerability. She does not feel sorry for the water. She freezes it. This is the psychological state you must attain today. You must become completely, terrifyingly cold to the emotional manipulations of your environment. You must freeze your pity, freeze your anxiety, and turn your network back into a solid, structured, heavy asset. The diagnosis is over. Now we execute the Hermetic Seal Protocol. You are going to take the chaotic, emotional vulnerabilities in your business, and you are going to freeze them into black ice. Execute these 3 steps before the day is over. Step 1. The eradication of pity. Open your organizational chart. Open your list of franchisees, partners, and vendors. Identify the single node that is surviving on your empathy instead of their own competence. Today, the pity ends. You will not have a heart-to-heart conversation with them. You will send a formal, emotionless, structural mandate. You will outline the exact mathematical requirements for them to remain in the network. You give them a deadline. If they fail, they are severed. You do not carry dead weight in a submarine. Step 2. The armor of the sovereign. Identify the communication that is currently causing you the most emotional anxiety. The B2B pitch you are afraid to send. The aggressive rent negotiation you are avoiding. The water of Pisces is telling you to wait until you feel better about it. I am telling you to freeze the emotion and press send. Write the message using only cold, hard facts. Remove every single adjective. Remove every single apology. Strip the text down to the heavy iron skeleton of the deal and transmit it. The moment you press send, the anxiety will shatter into ice. Step 3. the boundary lock. For the next 24 hours, you are strictly forbidden from absorbing the emotional chaos of the market. If a client panics, let them panic. If a competitor tries to provoke you, observe them with dead, cold eyes. Do not let their water breach your hull. Your only objective is to maintain the mathematical integrity of your own reality. The micro cracks have been identified. The toxic empathy has been eradicated. Look at the environment you have just created. The water that threatened to drown you has been transmuted. It is no longer a liability. By freezing the emotional chaos, you have literally added a thick, impenetrable layer of heavy black ice to your foundation. Your submarine is sealed, your network is secure. The moon in Pisces will continue to drown the unawakened. They will spend the next 2 days drowning in their own illusions, compromising their businesses, and leaking their capital into the void. But not you. You are the architect. You operate at absolute zero. Now execute your final mandates. First, seal the hatch. Hit the subscribe button immediately. The external algorithm is designed to keep you emotional, reactive, and weak. This channel is the only transmission that provides the heavy, brutalist code required to keep your architecture intact. If you want to survive the deep water, you must remain tethered to this frequency. Subscribe and lock the door behind you. Second, audit the fleet. You know a founder, a CEO, or a sovereign in your network who is currently leaking capital because they are too empathetic. They are keeping the toxic partner. They are afraid to raise their voice. Send them this exact transmission right now. Give them the protocol to freeze their own leaks. Elevate your circle by forcing them to confront their vulnerabilities. Third, freeze the water. The moment this video ends, you will not scroll. You will open your ledger. You will find the crack in your system, and you will touch it with the cold, unforgiving hand of algorithmic logic. The water is rising. Freeze it, and command the cold, beautiful reality of your own flawless empire.